What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. This is Black Lightning Season 1, Episode 2, LaWanda, the Book of Hope. So, I was kind of hoping to do what I've been doing with the other CWDC shows, which is they've got 4 episodes I've got to watch. Watch the first one, do a review, watch the next 2, do a review, and then watch the last one and do a review. Unfortunately, though, this one just had so much I needed to talk about that I couldn't do that. So, yeah, I do have a few more problems going forward with this. First, let's talk about the couple things that they've done well so far. One is the villain so far. He's a little, I don't know, he's still a little bit kind of hit and miss as far as the acting and, kind of what they're doing with his character, but he's mysterious enough to where I'm interested to see what his deal is. And he's also got enough of an intimidating factor to where I feel like he can be a good villain. At the end, we see he goes to the prison. Lala's in prison, and I guess maybe he's got sway with the cops because he just gets to walk right into his cell and then choke him to death. Now, he did it with one hand, and it looked like it was maybe doing more to him than just choking, so maybe Tobias does have some sort of, like, superhuman powers that we don't know about yet. I'm sure, if he's a character from the comics, everybody already knows. I don't. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen with him next, and I guess, is he going to be truly a threat to Black Lightning, or is he just going to be some random guy who's shouldn't be a threat because he's just a random guy, but somehow the show is going to turn him into a threat? I've seen them do stuff like that before on some other shows where it feels like, oh, superpowered person versus regular person should win, but they somehow do some stupid thing where it's just like, okay, superpowered person actually struggles against regular person because of BS reasons. But anyway, moving on from that, the other thing that I do enjoy so far is I do enjoy Black Lightning's dilemma. He's trying to sort of figure out a way to keep his family out of what he's doing, but at the same time he sees the problems. It could have been one of those things where he chose to ignore everything, and it took something like one of his daughters getting killed for him to really get back into it. And yes, his daughters getting kidnapped did sort of spark him to becoming Black Lightning again. But what I like is he sees the issues going on. He sees LaWanda obviously gets killed, and so now he's looking and he's seeing all the problems in the community. He's seeing that, one of the things he felt like as a principal was he was saving lives through this school, but now he's seeing that they graduate and they're just back into the community that's going to harm them, that has been created by the absence of Black Lightning. So I did enjoy that side of it, and I'm hoping that dilemma sort of will start to drop off now that he sort of found his resolve and realized that he needs to step back in because the community is just struggling right now without the vigilantes' help. So on to some of the things that I didn't like. A lot of them are just cliches. Stuff that I've seen done in other shows, stuff that they felt like they just had to check off the list. So, first of all, we got our homosexual character. Check. And the problem with this is they treat these characters like that gives them a character now. There's some characters that actually, it doesn't involve them at all. Like Curtis, surprisingly enough, one of my least favorite characters on Arrow. But honestly, him being gay does not make his character. His character is the techno geek, the one that understands all of the mechanical stuff. Him being gay is just one of the things that he has. That's just it. It's not a part of what makes him a character. The rest of these shows, like Alex, they really played it up last season with her on Supergirl. David Singh on Flash, kind of sometimes it feels like he's just on there to be reminded, oh yeah, we've got a police captain who's gay. Go homosexual power. But I mean, Anissa on this episode, literally the only thing we see her doing until the very end is she's in bed with her girlfriend, and then she's walking with her girlfriend, and then she's back in bed with her girlfriend, and then finally we go to the store and we see more with her superpowers. But aside from that, it felt like they just wanted to show us, hey, don't worry, we've got a homosexual character. We support you. Slapping in the face again. Like I said in the first episode, you got these standards you want to stand up for and you want to support gay people. Okay, do it in a subtle and clever way. This is just smacking us over the head with it by, oh, look guys, she's in bed with another girl because that's her character now. I'm hoping the whole superpower story starts to take over and that becomes her character, because frankly, I can't stand it whenever they just sort of force a character into this and that's their character. That is what makes them different. Another cliche they throw in the longtime friend that now wants to be more than friends. Just kind of out of nowhere. We didn't even see him in the first episode. All of a sudden he pops in. Hey, I'm that longtime friend, and we've been friends for a long time, but you nearly died, so yeah, now I want to be more than friends. I want you to be my girl. Just out of nowhere. Because we have to have that guy. Now, to be fair, he actually did have a bit more of a point than that later on, but at first he just kind of pops in. She's once again becoming more of a cliche because she's sitting out on the top of her roof, and she's the younger sister. I still don't know her name, but she's just sitting out there on the top of the roof, just smoking. I'm just like, seriously, like we've already seen you want to be the different one, the one that, oh, I'm unique and I'm independent, so I'm gonna go to a dangerous club and hang out there because that's my thing. We've already seen that. And now all of a sudden we see her smoking. Later on we see her drinking with her friend at school. And I'm like, seriously, you're just like checking off all of the boxes for that cliched brat that just wants to stand out and be independent by doing what every other independent brat wants to do. So, yeah, we see more of that. But whenever she goes to see this guy at the school and she's drinking at the school, he actually does have a point there because he's like, what are you doing? Like, this is not right. This is not what you're supposed to do. And I'm like, some clarity. Like, thank you. But yeah, he like tosses the bottle in the trash and he starts talking down to her like, look, I'm trying to make something out of my life. I've got all these problems, and he talks about all these different things. Dad's gone, brother's dead, mother's trying to make it on her own. He's trying to do everything he can to get himself to school, though, because that's what he wants to do. And I'm like, okay, this feels like a good character. Finally, a cliche character at the beginning, but man, did he turn into such a good character. Whereas the girlfriend for Anissa is just like, honestly, the show even kind of makes fun of how much of a cliche it is, because the mom's like, she's with her girlfriend, I swear I can never remember her name. And I'm just like, there you go. That shows she is just in there to be a girlfriend to support the homosexual community. That is the only purpose for her right now. But anyway, so yeah, a couple things that did sort of bother me, but one turned out to be okay. The other one kind of stayed a cliche through most of the episode. We also see on the bad guys' side of things, we see, Lala kind of trying to force his hand. He kills, I think his name started with a W. I want to say his name was William, but I'm not entirely sure because, once again, I'm terrible with names. But it's his cousin, the one that tried to kidnap, or did kidnap, the two sisters. His people find him, and then he shoots him and kills him and then tosses him in a dumpster. And the old guy that's helping out Black Lightning, whose name I will also have to go look up, he just finds him. He manages to do some technical stuff with his cell phone. So he pretty much is like a mixture of Alfred being the old guy that helps out, and also Oracle in that seems to be technically or technologically oriented, and he knows how to track cell phone and read stuff, the messages on his phone and stuff like that. So I assume he's going to have a bit more of a character once Black Lightning starts to become more of a character, because he does seem to be kind of the sidekick, the helper to Black Lightning. And so right now he kind of feels like that old guy that's just like, come on back in, Scott. Sorry, he kind of does remind me of Hank Pym, though, from Ant-Man, just a little bit. It's the fact that he looks a little bit like Michael Douglas. Anyway, so yeah, we see that they managed to track him down, and they manages to get some information about where Lala might be hiding. And so that's when Jefferson puts on the suit and goes in, takes some guys out. The action so far has been pretty good. It hasn't been spectacular. The CGI can get a little bit iffy at times, but for the most part, it looks much better than I've seen on like Supergirl, and then on some of the episodes of the first season of The Flash. Some of it at times can look very rubbery and not very realistic. Honestly, right now, the lightning can get a little bit too CG at times, but it still looks good. And you can see there's no like really hardcore special effects going into where like CG paints over everything. No, everything looks like they're on wires, probably, and they're being tossed around on wires and stuff while he's shooting lightning at him. It does look pretty convincing, and so I do feel like that part of this working out pretty well. I will say, when he goes into that hotel, there was a part of me that kind of had a flashback to watching Daredevil season 1, and whenever he like hears that kid crying and then like jumps out, and the end of the first episode and then the beginning of the second one, we see him wake up in a dumpster because he wasn't ready for it. I kind of had a vision in my mind. I'm like, this is his first return to fighting in quite a while, fighting a lot of guys. Obviously we saw the hotel scene in the first one, but that one he kind of had the element of surprise. This one he's going to a place where they know he's coming for them because he's already been there once. And so wouldn't it be kind of funny if he like goes in there all cocky and just like, oh yeah guys, Black Lightning's back, and then all of a sudden just gets beat and just knocked out the window? But no, of course not, because part of the thing about this episode is he is giving hope. Like the title says, the Book of Hope. He is giving hope back to the community by fighting for them again and keeping them alive. So yeah, I do understand why we couldn't go that direction, but at the same time it would have been pretty funny, kind of like what they did in Daredevil. But they're not stealing ideas, so I guess that's a good thing. But yeah, we also see at the end of it that Lynn, his wife's name, got one right. She obviously still doesn't like him being Black Lightning, even though she wanted him to be Black Lightning to go get his daughters back. And the problem I have with this is she's a very selfish character. Oh, I don't want you to be Black Lightning until I want you to be Black Lightning. And then when you're done being Black Lightning, don't be Black Lightning again, ever, even though you can save people's lives. I mean, it feels like she wants what's best for her. And for her, him being Black Lightning is not a good thing. That's selfish. That's exactly what it is. And it's funny to see kind of the parallels, because you look at The Flash, they just had an episode where Barry's talking to Ralph about if you have the ability to help somebody and you don't, I mean, you're not a hero. That's just the truth of it. If you have the ability to help somebody and you do help them, it makes you feel so much better inside, knowing that, yes, your life is in danger, but you're helping people. That's a great feeling. Similar to this, except instead of it being him not wanting to help, it's his ex-wife not wanting him to help because she's scared. And all I can think is, I understand. I understand that you're frightened for his life, for your life, for your daughter's lives. But here's the thing, it's not just about you anymore. Clearly, him not being Black Lightning has hurt the community. I mean, people are in terror right now of this gang that's just running amok with no sort of check. And you want him to not go help the people that he can? I mean, that's selfish is what it is. Oh, don't go save lives because I don't want to die. And that's just the truth of it. Maybe there's going to be some sort of arc where she starts to see the error of her ways, but right now I'm just kind of like, come on, just get out of the way. Let him do what he's got to do to help people, because, I mean, that's what heroes do. And I do like what he says to her about halfway through the episode. He's talking about how when they met, she said, this is a gift from God. And he's like, it's still a gift from God. It's still what I can do. And so, I don't know, I just really like that. I like the fact that he's saying not much has changed. You have changed. Your opinion has changed. So, I don't know. I'm kind of not very happy with Lynn right now. She walks out at the end, like puts her, I think she had a ring on maybe, or maybe she had the ring with her. She like sets something down on the table and then walks out. So, that's that. One of the things, just last thing to talk about, that honestly I was kind of surprised they even mentioned, just because, I don't know, it seemed like something they were never going to talk about because they typically don't in these superhero shows. But one of the problems that most superhero shows have is somebody puts on a mask and all of a sudden somebody close to them that has known them for so long is just like, I don't recognize you anymore. You put the mask on and, I mean, who are you? The Flash did a good job of handling it because they actually had Barry like vibrate so fast on his face that nobody could recognize him. Arrow actually, the hood does shadow a lot of his face, so it is difficult to tell he's Oliver Queen. Supergirl, she puts on glasses. She and Superman both do that. Put on glasses and all of a sudden I'm Kara Danvers, and take off the glasses, I'm Supergirl. So, that is one that hasn't handled that very well. But this one, his daughter saw him at the end of the first episode up close. I was just like, okay, I guess we're just not going to touch on this. It's just going to be, oh, he puts on the mask and that's it. But one of the things I didn't even realize is, like, his goggles did something. Like, they had some lines going through it. I saw it, but I didn't think anything of it. And then all of a sudden in this one, whenever the younger sister is talking to the guy on the roof, she's talking about how she tried to look at his face, but when she did, it, like, hurt. Like you were looking into a headlight almost. And that's when I realized, oh, that's what the goggles were doing. They were actually masking his face from them being able to see him. That's very clever. And that's something that I didn't think they were going to talk about, and they were just going to blow past, and they actually did discuss it. I find that interesting. So yeah, it's just a little thing they threw in, but in my opinion, it's something clever. It's something that explains something that I didn't think was going to get explained. So I did enjoy that. Aside from that, though, overall, there are problems here and there. I think the two sisters, they're focusing a little too much on their relationship stuff, and it's kind of getting bogged down in those scenes. I don't mind if they do have some stuff like that going on, but the first scene with Anissa and her girlfriend took probably like 5 minutes to go through, and then I think they had a little scene and then cut to the younger sister with the guy up on the roof, and that scene took like 5 minutes. There's too long of a break in between, and in a show called Black Lightning, I do want to see more Black Lightning than I do other stuff. So maybe this is just sort of what they're going to do. They're going to show the entire family, not just Black Lightning, but in that case, I don't know, the title of the show, Black Lightning, is a little bit misleading because it's not just him, it's his entire family. The other thing that I hope, does get a little bit less focus going forward is it still feels like there's a lot of just focus on, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, focus on the community stuff. I get that Black Lightning is about to step in and start battling the gang, but the whole, like, LaWanda thing, it had a purpose. There's other things that just don't feel like they have a purpose at all. Like at the beginning of the episode, on the TV, it's that guy who I think was talking in the first episode. I think it was the same guy. But he was talking about how, all these other people, they're saving cities and they're considered heroes, but Black Lightning isn't. He's considered a vigilante. I just remember thinking at the time, Arrow's a vigilante too. Hello, it's not just because he's black. That same guy is on the TV at the beginning of this episode talking about, if Black Lightning is just back because, he wants to do personal stuff, then I don't support that. But I think Black Lightning is going to be good for the community. And it feels like there's this whole propaganda thing going on that doesn't really fit in with what Black Lightning is trying to do. LaWanda does fit in because of what she did. Yes, kind of stupid to go get herself killed, but it does sort of show that things are not good right now. That is how far she is willing to go. She's willing to get herself killed to frame this guy because the community is really messed up and really jaded. So some of the things show this community and how poor it is very well, and then some of them just kind of feel like, oh, let's throw our propaganda into the mix and preach and all that stuff because we need to get our word out, and whenever it does that, it just doesn't feel as connected. So anyway, that's it for me. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts in this episode? Let me know. We can talk about it and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Black Lightning reviews. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.